From beginning now. Okay. Hello everyone. Today we have with us a distinguished faculty for entrepreneurship, Dr. Shailendra Vyakaranam, Director of the Britannia Center for Entrepreneurship at Cranfield School of Management, UK. Professor Vyakaranam teaches the core course and entrepreneurship at the Myra School of Business, Mysore. Dr. Vyakaranam worked in the industry for several years before completing his MBA and PhD at Cranfield. From 2003 to 2015, he focused on the development of practitioner-led education for entrepreneurship at the University of Cambridge Judge Business School. Dr. Vyakaranam was awarded Best Entrepreneurship Professor at the Second Asian Business School Awards in 2011. In 2012, he was elected to the prestigious European Academy of Science and Arts. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, this is the third time you are visiting Myra. So how was your experience teaching a new set of students this year?
Well, as an interesting contrast to last year, there were something like 70 students. Seem to be a little bit younger to the batch this year. So there's about 40 students this year. So it's a lot more interactive as a result of that. And slightly older with a little bit more experience. So the growth of the institution is being reflected in the type of students coming here as well.
Thank you, sir. So I would like to know your views on one of the most common questions when it comes to entrepreneurs, whether entrepreneurs are born or made.
That is certainly a very frequent question, and one that sometimes I find hugely irritating because there is no scientific evidence to answer the question, and it comes down to opinions. And as we are living in the age of Bush and Trump and Obama, we have facts and alternative facts and opinions. And what we are trying to deal with in entrepreneurship is not whether people are born or made, because now one is not born a musician, a politician, or anything like that either. One is born as one is, and then you unlock something that might be sitting inside. And so education can play a huge role in unlocking that spirit, unlocking the motivation, finding out the circumstances, incubating ideas. So it's a lot more complicated to answer than a simple question, which is, you're right, very frequently asked.
So then if not the gene or DNA, then what makes an entrepreneur different from other professionals?
So is it a gene or DNA that makes a doctor a good doctor?
Yes.
No. Is it gene or DNA that makes a good professor, or a good policeman, a good policeman? No. So there is no such gene for employment, for categories, for good marketing managers, good salesmen, good CEOs, good finance. For an entrepreneur either. It is something that is part of one's life, it is part of one's upbringing, it's part of one's education, it's part of one's practice, ambition, hope, etc. As I said, it's a very complicated set of circumstances that leads one into an entrepreneurial career. If we think that there's a gene or DNA for entrepreneurship, then we have to ask, is there a gene or DNA for all the other professions? If we can find that, we don't need any universities.
Yes, sir. So, sir, when it comes to funding, when it comes to resources, then how the startup ecosystem in India is different from the West?
It's much newer in India than it is in some countries in the West. Not the whole of the West has got the infrastructure. To be honest, I think USA, UK probably are a little bit ahead of some of the other countries, but those other countries are catching extremely quickly within Europe. Countries like Finland, Germany, Austria, etc. Some countries are still struggling to cope up with the idea. The main issue in India is the deregulation, providing an environment, a political environment, legal environment in which businesses can take off. The money is flowing into India now. There are amazing role models like Amazon, Flipkart, Uber, this, that, and other, which are inspiring youngsters to go into doing the same thing. Finding money is a little bit easier than 5 years ago, but it's still a tough call for young entrepreneurs.
So so far I believe you have heard and you have evaluated thousands of new ideas. So sir, whenever a new idea is floated in front of you, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you start evaluating that idea?
Two things come to mind straight away. One is I'm absolutely delighted that the person coming to me has had an idea, because everything in life, in some way or other, everything in the room in which you're sitting, the building in which you're housed, starts with somebody's idea. So ideas are absolutely critical. They can come from anywhere. So the next step is, what problem is this idea trying to solve? Can it be commercialized? Can people actually turn it into a feasible project of some kind? Can it turn into a business? So 90% of the students who come to me with an idea get obsessed by the idea, do not think of the next step, which is who is the customer, why will they buy, can I make it, can I get it, can I do all the operational things that need to be done to take the idea forward. So our role would be to guide young entrepreneurs to think to the next step in taking their idea, otherwise it's a dream.
So sir, at Myra School of Business we are offered entrepreneurship as a core course. So sir, what do you think, whether it should be a core course or it should be offered as an elective?
That's a great question. I think some part of entrepreneurship could be a core, which is some kind of an introduction, maybe some guest speakers, that kind of thing. But I think for those who are really serious, the more time can be given to those students who are taking it more seriously, rather than the students who are doing the course because they have to.
Yes, sir.
And they have to, but they're actually really there to, what is the Indian expression, time pass. To the minimum required to pass the assessment, but still go for a job at some point, or go into their family businesses. So the motivation levels are varied. The more that entrepreneurship is elective, or more it is that people are driven to do it, the more energy there is behind it. But there's a curious fact that until you're introduced to it, you don't know if you want to do it or not.
Yes, sir.
So that's why some part of entrepreneurship, I think, could be a core. Some introduction to it, some activity behind it. But the deeper aspect, maybe new venture creation, could be an elective.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for providing your insights on various fields of
pleasure.
entrepreneurship. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you very much. Good luck. Thanks.
Was it?